Hey guys, JV here with a vlog today because I just crossed the 7-year mark on YouTube. I started doing this when I was 15 years old back in high school. I've been making videos for 30% of my life, and it's absolutely crazy to think about. So I figured it'd be really fun to go through the history of my channel from how we got started 7 years ago to where we are today. As always, if you like what I do here and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. First off, this wouldn't be possible without you guys. So I want to extend a heartfelt, warm thank you so much for supporting me here on the channel. Whether you came here before Fallout 4, during that time, that's when I saw, a massive boost on my channel, or more recently with Mass Effect Andromeda. Thank you so much. It's so easy to be distracted by negativity here on YouTube and ignore the wonderful sea of kind comments and awesome people that are supporting me. And so whenever I do get distracted, I usually turn back and I find a really awesome comment, like, I love this video, thanks so much for this, blah, 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 blah. It always puts me in a good mood. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining me in this journey. So let's go through the history of my channel from the beginning when it started in 2010. So I started up YouTube in August of 2010 when I was 15 years old, still in high school, obviously, or I had just gotten into high school. I was a freshman going into sophomore year. That was right when I had my first breakup. And so it was kind of like a teenage breakup. I didn't really know how that was supposed to work. And so I took it particularly hard, and obviously too hard for what it really was, but I wasn't in a positive place after that. YouTube was sort of an escape for me. I watched a lot of, YouTube videos already, but once that happened, it was even more of an escape. It was kind of a place to get my mind off of what had just happened. And so some of my favorite YouTubers at the time were CNanners, Hutch, Woody's Gamertag, Wings of Redemption, FPS Kyle, the PKA crew. I still listen to that podcast, by the way. Basically the whole Call of Duty scene. That's what I was wrapped into. That's what I played a lot of. And so that was my kind of inspiration. So eventually I decided to take the leap and start my own channel, really inspired by a lot of those guys, some of the pioneers of the gameplay commentary. And so this was also something that I could sink a bunch of time into, right? Because again, I was still not in a great place. So this was my escape in that way too. I was fortunate enough to have very supportive parents. And so immediately when I told them, look, I want to get an HD PVR. I want you to invest, like 120 bucks on this device and also on a microphone so I can start doing this thing because I'm passionate about it. And again, I was fortunate enough to have really supportive parents that could make that happen. So they did, and that's how I got started. So the goal the whole time in the beginning for me was to make it into Machinima, because Machinima was the big deal back in the day. It was like, if you made it into Machinima, then you had made it in the YouTube scene. But before I got into that, I had to start from ground zero. 0 subscribers, 0 views, ground floor. Obviously, that's where everyone has to start. So I was doing a lot of basic gameplay commentary stuff with games like Halo Reach, Minecraft even, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Believe it or not, those are games I had a lot of videos for on my channel early on. And unfortunately, you can't look back and find a lot of New Vegas videos because I had to remove them because I used a lot of copyrighted music. At the time, there wasn't a way to distinguish that and edit the video to get it out of there. So it kind of sucks. There's kind of like some lost videos that you can't go back and watch. I'm sad about them too. But I also did Let's Plays, a lot of Let's Plays for games like LA Noire, Dragon Age 2, Dead Island, a lot of variety really on the channel. And in the very beginning, I did it so much. I put my head down and did YouTube constantly when I wasn't doing school or basketball. I played sports in high school too, that I was putting out 3 videos a day. It was insane. So after all that grinding, 6 months later, I had my into Machinima. There was a fellow YouTuber who was on Machinima Realm, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name. I've got him on Skype still, but I don't remember the name of his channel. I don't think he's doing YouTube anymore, and he probably stopped a long time ago. But he just reached out and said, look, I really like your content. I'm going to give you a chance here. Let's hook you up with Machinima. And so that was like my golden ticket. I remember the day reading that email on my phone. I was like, oh my God, like we got it done. That was one of the most gratifying days of my entire YouTube career. So at that point, I started posting games like Dragon Age 2 to Machinima Realm and Black Ops to the main Machinima channel and Machinima Respawn. And so I was really kind of getting my feet underneath me in terms of gaining more exposure. And also at the time, before all of that, the channel was earning 0 money. It was literally just a hobby. My goal was Machinima, so I was trying to earn something for it, but I hadn't gotten partnered yet. However, 6 months later, I finally got my channel partnered. It was another another really awesome milestone for me. I started earning money for my passion. Not long after, late 2011 rolled around and Modern Warfare 3 came out. And so again, I was still posting a lot of Call of Duty before that, but I started doing tips and tricks videos, and specifically a gun guide series. It was something that was inspired by Xbox Ahoy. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that if you're familiar with the history of Call of Duty and its presence on YouTube. He was a big deal back in the day. So really inspired by that, but I did my own version, kind of a quick and dirty version, something that you could consume pretty quickly and then go into the game and learn something from it. So I had it on my channel. It was fairly successful on my own channel, but I also pitched it to Machinima Respawn, and I actually got a weekly slot. So they were putting my videos on Machinima Respawn. We got it on there, and that drove a lot of traffic to my channel. It was the first exposure kind of experience like that for me, where we were driving stuff directly to the channel and it was really working. And so I saw a nice subscriber bump when I started doing that, and it really, you know, stayed consistent as I kept posting those gun guides to Respawn. So I did that for a while, but the next year, kind of sometime in early 2012, I just got tired of it. It actually wasn't that long. It was like 3 to 4 months after I started doing that, I got sick and tired of Modern Warfare 3. And that's really where I started trying to reinvent myself. I had this kind of obsession / compulsive perfectionism thing where it's like, stuff's working for me, but for some reason I want to reinvent it. I want to keep doing something new. I want to branch out. So after that point, I bounced between Call of Duty tips, back to Let's Plays, back and forth, back and forth. I really didn't have a set direction with the channel. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 came along, and this is when it first came out on PS3 and Xbox 360 in late 2013. I started doing tips and tricks for that game right before it came out, and that took off big time. And that wasn't with the help of Machinima or anything like that. It was just a lot of being at the right place at the right time, having the right kind of content. So I stuck to Grand Theft Auto 5 for only 2 months. And for the life of me, looking back at that, I don't know why I stopped. I think I kind of ran out of ideas, but there was totally an opportunity to keep going and keep growing, and I just didn't take it. Again, I reverted back to that same thing of trying to reinvent, trying to jumpstart something new on the channel, starting from scratch. So we did more of that for another year, and then Destiny rolled around late 2014, and I started with tips and tricks on that game. Again, I found decent success there, but I didn't stick to it for long enough in order to kind of carve out like, this is a Destiny channel, and so on and so forth. And so I was definitely learning more about tips and tricks, covering things daily, and that kind of led to later games that would do well on my channel. But also around that time, I started streaming a bit, which is something you've seen more recently on my channel, but a lot of going back and forth, trying to see like, let's make a format on the channel that's really gonna make it big, that's really gonna spark, go viral, you know, within our gaming community, something like that. So reverting back to that same mode that I would go between each game. Also around that time, I started going to college. So I was going to a legitimate four-year university, SMU, not exactly easy, but also juggling doing the channel at the same time. After more experimentation, fast forward to late 2015, that's when Fallout 4 really kicked off, and tips and tricks on launch of Fallout 4 was a massive success. It's actually crazy looking back at how much that shaped the past 2 years of my life. Absolutely insane. There was just this unbelievable drive to get a video up every single day, and I would be working, you know, like 8-9 hours a day, which doesn't sound, you know, that ridiculous, right? But at the time, it was a lot, especially for what I was doing in terms of daily content. So I stuck with that far longer than I had stuck with anything else, and I think I kind of learned my lesson a little bit with that. And we stuck with Fallout 4 until October 2016. So that was almost 12 months of Fallout nearly every day. Also during that year, I had so many awesome experiences, like going to E3, meeting other YouTubers, going to private events like Insomniac, 2K, playing games early. It was just an incredible experience that taught me so much about this job that I decided, you know what? We need to do this full time. I need to stop pursuing a degree that may or may not help me in my current job. We need to focus on this full time. So I stopped going to college. I still have like 40 hours left. So definitely a nice dent to still get through if I want to get my degree, which I do in the future, but not really anytime soon. Funny enough, right around that time, after I stopped Fallout 4, that's when I took my hiatus. I really did not make YouTube content for like 60 days, something like that. It was an extended break that I had never taken since I started in 2010. Also decided to rebrand my channel. That was early this year in January. We all know how that turned out. I decided, you know what, not a good idea. Spent 6 years, establishing a brand. You guys subscribed to me for that reason, and I threw it all away for, yeah, some kind of pipe dream. So it didn't work out. Learn from that mistake. Probably not going to happen again. No, it's not. So I got back to normal. I started streaming a bunch, doing For Honor, which was a decent success on my channel, and then started streaming Mass Effect stuff leading up to Andromeda. As we know, Andromeda came out earlier this year. That was another great success on my channel. A lot of new viewers, a lot of Mass Effect fans here, and you guys are still here, which is awesome. And then more experimentation after Andromeda. As you guys have seen, there's really been a variety of different kinds of content on the channel, especially after switching networks. And that brings us to now. So that's really the extended oral history of my YouTube channel. It's been so freaking long. I tried to condense it and not get too specific on certain things. But yeah, this is where we are today. And over these past 7 years, I've learned a lot, obviously, but here are a few things that I can boil it down to. If you're wondering about what it's like to run a YouTube channel, or if you're considering it, these are things I've learned. The first thing, the most important thing, like nothing else comes above this, is consistency. That is the key. Never stop making videos. I took that 60-day hiatus. I think I really needed it at the time because I've been doing this for so long, but never stop. Have a consistent schedule. If you're going to build anything and maintain it, never stop making videos, never stop creating content. The second thing is that I am literally insane. I have made the same mistake so many times and plenty of other mistakes over the years, namely abandoning what works and trying to reinvent my channel. You see that time and time again with several different games. This is the metaphor I like to think of when I'm kind of looking back and seeing what the hell was I thinking. So it's like spending a ton of time, just so much time, your blood, sweat, and tears, your passion on building a house. You build up this house, it's amazing, you love it, you're proud of it, you built it with your bare hands. And then you know what? You decide you want to tear it down, just get rid of this house, just burn it to the ground because for some reason you get tired of your house. And then you decide to start from scratch. Once again, rebuild this house that you spent so much time building in the first place. But at the same time, you also wonder why you don't have the benefits of building that house, because you tore it down in the first place. So extended metaphor there, but that really describes my situation with building up content, building up, this expectation with subscribers and viewers, and then getting rid of it and starting from square one. What I've learned is if you find something that works and that you enjoy, hold on to it for as long as you possibly can and never let go. Just improve it, just improvise upon that one idea, that one format. The next thing I've learned is that a lot of my joy in this job and just waking up and enjoying making videos is the success of it. It really is. I love playing video games. I'm fortunate to do it for a living, but it is a real job with real circumstances, with real consequences, right? If you just don't do your job, if you just stop doing it, you stop getting paid. You're not able to pay your bills. It's a real thing. But again, a lot of my enjoyment is tied to that success. I need to be able to see the result of my hard work. And if I don't see that, I start reverting and I'm like, okay, we need to go in a different direction. We need to reformulate. That's just kind of my default thing. And the final thing that I've learned that I'm gonna share in this video, I've learned a lot more, but this is my absolute passion, making YouTube videos, creating content for the internet, for you guys. There's not a minute that goes by in a day where I don't think about it. It is always on my mind like crazy. And since we're so deep into this, I've been trying more recently to take some more time off, 1 or 2 days a week, taking weekends off to just kind of rest and clear my mind because again, 7 years, it's been so freaking long, and that's just kind of a healthy thing to do. You do it with most jobs. And so to close out the video for the billionth time, what is the plan? What are we doing in the future into late 2017? It actually involves looking back a bit. It's playing on the strengths, the things that I know I'm good at, the things that I know work in terms of formatting and content. For now, we're going to stick with Andromeda content. As you guys have seen over the past few weeks, it's been majority Andromeda. So any news, any updates, any patches, and also the new mods series. It's a video or a series that I just uploaded one video for, PB's Face. It was a very simple video, but I was shocked by the reaction. You guys really liked that. And so I'm definitely going to do more of that, maybe 1 or 2 videos a week of different Andromeda mods. Believe it or not, we're also returning to Fallout. Yes, it's been a while, but I'm really feeling like I want to return to it, kind of based on that same mindset that I just mentioned, sticking to what works. But I really do miss the game. So tomorrow we're going to stream Fallout 4 with some mods. It's not really part of an established series yet or anything like that. Thinking about starting around 3 p.m. Central Time. So again, it's not an official stream like part of a series. We're just testing the water. So hope to see you guys tomorrow. But the overall plan is to stream something consistently that has been successful on the channel that I like playing a few times a week. So we're definitely going to hammer that out and figure that out over some time here. But I also think I want to return to some Fallout 4 mods as well. I think that would be fun content for the channel. But I'm sure some of you guys are like, wait, we're not just going to post, games that came out 2 years ago. You're absolutely correct. We can't just look back to the past, but we do need to look forward into the future as well. So I'm thinking about reviewing games that I can get review codes for. That's something that's pretty standard, something that I would enjoy doing. If I can get a review code, then you'll see a review on the channel, but also branching out into new games where we can potentially get like another community going within my channel. We've got Bethesda, we've got BioWare, and to a smaller degree Bungie, but a lot of my Destiny viewers I think are gone by now because I really abandoned the game. So yeah, I mentioned Destiny because that's another game I'm really going to try to branch out into. That's Destiny 2. It's an obvious one for me. It's a game I'm going to play a lot of, that I'm really going to enjoy, that I think I can make some great content for. So I'm going to start up some videos probably as soon as next week, maybe 1 or 2 videos per week talking about the game leading up to it, similarly to what I did with Mass Effect, similarly to what I did with Fallout and GTA 5, what I've been doing for a long time. So we're definitely going to go after that, and leading up to launch and after launch. But if it doesn't work, which there's a possibility that it might not work, we still have this cushion, right, to fall back on. We're talking about Fallout 4, and we're talking about Mass Effect Andromeda, and possibly other Mass Effect games as well. So that is the plan. Again, looking back at the best parts of what's worked, playing on those strengths, and then moving forward with them, improvising into the future, branching out a little bit, but still having a place to fall back to. That's kind of the plan there. I really don't want to keep trying to reinvent the wheel. I've done it too many freaking times, and 7 years looking back is something I need to stop doing. I want to make room to innovate, right? And not just be making the same stuff at all times, but I still need to have that foundation because, again, I support myself 100% with this channel. This is, my job. So that's what we're going with moving forward, and I hope you guys are excited. That's it for me. So closing out this video, what do you want to see in the channel moving forward? Again, I mentioned a few things, Destiny 2, kind of covering that in a tips and tricks news kind of format, seeing how that works. But in terms of Mass Effect, in terms of Fallout, what do you think about what I've said? Do you have any suggestions? Let me know in the comment section below. If you stayed till the end and enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe for more content. Check out my latest videos by clicking the links on screen. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook so you don't miss another video. Sign up with Juniper to receive exclusive discounts on shirts, hoodies, and more at the JV merch store. Click the link for more details. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.